My mom, while drunk at my sister's wedding, told her that my wedding was okay, but hers was beautiful in comparison, and my husband, who doesn't have the best relationship with her, overheard and was completely crushed. Posted by u/h_a_l_. I, 27F, got married in October 2024 to my now husband, 28M, a military reservist. We had a small mountain wedding after surviving a long deployment, and it was everything we hoped for. Leading up to it, my mom, 61F, emotionally blew up on us, crying, saying we didn't include her, and even telling my husband he ruined our relationship. She apologized to me, but never to him like she promised. Still, we let her come. She even brought her sister, not invited, and I didn't have the energy to say no. Fast forward to my twin sister's destination wedding this spring, I was the maid of honor. My mom was drinking, and at the rehearsal dinner, she told my sister, in front of my husband, their wedding was okay. But this is beautiful. He didn't tell me until later that night because he didn't want to ruin the day. That comment crushed him. When we got home, we made the hard decision: she's no longer welcome to stay in our home. That was in April. It's now July. She has no idea. Since then, we've only had vague phone calls, and now she's saying she wants to come visit to change up her scenery. She can't drive anymore, so if she visits, she'd be fully dependent on us to get around and would definitely expect to stay with us. I'm frozen. I don't know how to say, you can come to dinner, but you're not staying here. I feel like I've been protecting everyone else's feelings for years while mine get ignored. I love her, but I'm drained. Has anyone ever had to say something like this to a parent? How do you set this kind of boundary without feeling like a terrible daughter? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Her comment may have been made while drunk, but drunk people often tell the truth, which is, sadly, how she feels about you, your wedding, and your marriage. Stop avoiding it and finally tell her that he heard her comment and doesn't want to host her in his home, which is supposed to be his safe space. She would intrude on that space and expect catering from people she was mean to. Because you haven't told her yet, you're not supporting his feelings, because you're too scared to hurt hers. You are growing old with your husband, not her. Ops response. I believe this is so true. My husband and I have gone back and forth talking about this topic, and he has been so supportive along the way, giving me time to think about what I want to say and even offering to tell her for me or be there on speakerphone when I talk with her. I am so grateful for his support. He always apologizes for putting me in a hard place, but he is trying to protect both his and my peace, especially in our safe space. Commenter 2. Hey Op, you only briefly mention it, and I don't know if it actually is a problem, but it sounds like maybe your mom needs to think about her relationship with alcohol. That can make this easier and harder to deal with. Sometimes, especially if they are not actually addicts, it makes it easier to blame the poor behavior on drinking. For example, I have an aunt who enjoyed being a heavy drinker through most of her life, but when she reached around 45 to 50, she became quite a nasty person when she was drinking. Just plain mean, and sharing some very unnecessary, pointed opinions that her sober self would have been quite embarrassed about and never allowed to escape her lips. Eventually, when she was about your mom's age, her son told her bluntly, "Mom, I love you, but you are a beach when you drink and you need to stop it." This wasn't a term he used often, and certainly never about her specifically prior to this moment, so it landed like a nuclear bomb as intended. He listed out specific behaviors and words that came from her mouth that she knew had happened, and her cheeks were hot and red, and she was very angry and upset. And then she eventually realized that she could continue being embarrassed and ashamed and upsetting her family and being the talk of the gossip chain after every event, or she could stop drinking like a jerk. And thankfully, she chose the latter. She still had a drink now and then, but she slowed down considerably both in quantity and type. Straight Crown Royal on ice became wine spritzers, and never drank to the point anymore where she wasn't able to watch her mouth and filter her strident opinions, because she wasn't getting anywhere near as trashed due to the drastic reduction in alcohol volume. Maybe your mother also needs a let's come to Jesus and discuss your wine moment. Ops response. I've tried for decades to get her to stop. Nothing changes. Everyone in my family has. Update 1 month later. Hi again. I originally posted about the long-standing tension with my mom, her hurtful comments toward my husband, and my struggle with whether to let her visit. Here's the latest. I finally called my mom to talk about it. She immediately denied saying anything hurtful and essentially called my husband a liar. We went back and forth, and she eventually agreed to call and apologize to him directly. She asked for his work schedule, I gave it to her, and she said she'd call. Then, instead of following through, she texted saying she wanted a 3-way call instead, reframing the situation as a misunderstanding or relay of communication. I told her clearly this wasn't about miscommunication, It was about words that were said and how they made us feel. What we needed first was ownership and an apology. Her reply was that she's been accused of speaking without thinking and now wants to talk with her sister, my aunt, before speaking with us again. She said she'll let us know when she's ready. The day after my mom said she wanted to talk with my aunt before speaking to us again, my aunt texted me out of the blue. Call me when you have a minute to talk. No one knows I am reaching out to you, so please don't mention it. I called her, and we had an incredibly validating conversation. She's been through almost the exact same dynamic with her mom and with my mom: constant comparisons, disapproval of her spouse, judgment about her life choices. She told me my mom has never taken genuine accountability or given a real apology, and likely never will. She encouraged me to stop chasing approval, keep my focus on my marriage, and keep any interactions with my mom surface level and drama free. Later in the call, I told her that my mom had said she wanted to speak with her before reaching out to us again. The very next morning, my aunt texted me. Your mom talked to me when we were having coffee this morning. I will call you later today to let you know what we discussed. I didn't tell her that you and I talked yesterday, nor did I start the conversation, she did. When she called later, she gave my husband the lowdown on what we discussed the day before and shared what my mom had said. At one point, my mom apparently asked my aunt if she should apologize to us, and my aunt told her no, because she believed it wouldn't be genuine anyway. Despite my aunt's advice, my mom still texted both my husband and me in a group chat asking when my husband had time this week to talk, after putting us off with excuses multiple times. At that point, my husband was fully done. He doesn't want to keep going in circles, and I don't blame him. For me, it's sad to accept that my mom may never be the type to take real accountability or give a genuine apology. I know it's going to take me some time to heal and move forward, but I also know that low contact, at least for now, is best for my mental health and for my marriage. I'll be focusing on my life with my husband, keeping boundaries in place and leaning on my aunt and, of course, my husband for support when I need it. If anything changes, I'll update again. Thanks to everyone who encouraged me through this. It's been hard, but I finally feel like I'm putting us first. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I'm a little confused about the boundary. Why would you be happy to spend time with someone who says something like that, and yet not want the person inside your home? She has no idea because you haven't demonstrated any consequences for her behavior, and you've probably caused yourself a problem because now, when it does come up, she'll complain about why it took you so long to say something. You need to be stronger with boundaries, and you need to communicate them to her. Ops response. Yes, I understand that. I grew up in a family dynamic where we never talked about our feelings or problems and just pushed everything to the side. So with that, I'm trying to be better and voice my feelings. That's why it took me so long, because it is not easy for me at all. Commenter 2. Hugs. One thing I have learned, both through therapy and Reddit groups, is that chasing my mom for a change just stressed me out. The minute I learned to say, she was the best mother she could be, instead of, she is a good mother to me, or, she is the mother I needed, my thinking changed. You need to work on understanding that she loves you, but she doesn't know what you need and quite possibly can't give it to you. She will not change, but you don't need to change either. Your expectations need to change. Ops response. Love this.